So I'm here with my good friend Nicole Johns of TaxMax SA
Hey.
and my client as well. So we're going to do a Q&A with her and find out all the things you need to know to help you in your business as it relates to taxes. Hi,
Yay.
Nicole.
Hey guys.
How are you?
I'm blessed. I'm doing good.
I know you've been killing it lately. I think you got a new social media person.
Yes, I do. And
The Instagram looking good.
it is.
I was like, look at Cole out there stepping again. You got 2 new assistants.
Yes.
I'm so proud of you, friend.
Yes.
So, like, it's funny, as much as we talk every day.
Almost.
Just about almost every day on the phone. But I think it's always cool to be able to sit down and actually have conversation to learn new things about each other. Some stuff we probably do already know, but I think you have a wealth of information when it comes to taxes that I just know the basics. So I make sure that I just tell my clients the basics and then call you. But today, you're going to actually get to share all of your knowledge with all of our friends and followers.
Yes, I'm looking forward to it.
So let's get into this thing. So tell me, how did you really get into taxes and like the whole financial business and financial planning and all?
So, you know what? I don't like to lose money. Like, everyone makes fun of me and they say like I'm like the dad off Everybody Hates Chris. Don't need no electricity when you sleep.
Okay.
But I was actually in college and I went to go get my taxes done at a big tax company, and I gave them all my forms and I felt something was wrong. Like, I kept giving, are you sure you entered this? Are you sure you entered this? Come to find out, about 2.5 years later, I found out that they didn't enter all my expenses.
What?
And I was missing $1,000. And you have 3 years to fix it. So I had like 30 days, 40 days to file an amendment and get it to the IRS before I wouldn't get my money. And you know, when you're young, $1,000 is a lot of money.
No, it is.
I was hot.
That's a refund check if you're in college.
Right. And then when I called them, they wouldn't even fix their mistake. So I had to pay again for somebody else to fix it. So, you know, I was upset and I was like, I need to learn how to do taxes myself.
Okay.
And about 1.5 years passed by. I was still working at my job, and I actually left my job. So I called my friend who just left the week
Without
before
a plan?
me. Well, it was an accident. I had a car accident,
Oh, okay.
and they have like a rule where you can only miss like 1 day with the doctor's note. So even though I had came back to work feeling better, but then I didn't feel good the next day. So they instead of running it consistently, they were trying to be like, oh well, it's 2 days.
They got you on a technicality,
right? So then I wasn't feeling well like a month and a half later, and they're like, well, you can't leave because of those days. I was like, well, look, I'm gonna leave. Y'all do what y'all want to do.
Okay.
So I left and I called my friend and she was like, I'm in tax school. And I was like, tax school? I was like, what? So I signed up.
What?
She didn't finish school. And I've been doing taxes for almost 12 years now. So.
Oh my goodness. That's what's up. See, I love a good backstory. Like, everybody should really tell their backstory because that's really where the bag is at. The bag is really in the story. So, 12 years in now, killing the game. So I know we both have a similar target audience, so we work with, we have a lot of similar clients. So what would you say are 3 things that every small business owner needs to know about taxes? Well, like 3 of the, like, must always keep at the top.
3 things you got to know about taxes. Really, honestly, for business owners, you have to know what kind of taxes you're going to file. Okay. Knowing what taxes go with your entity, because so many people, they think that it's automatically 2 separate returns. But a lot of the times, unless they take the step to become an S Corp or a corporation, it's still going to be 1 return and it's still going to be filed together. So that means you have to take your personal income in consideration with your business income. Ooh. And if you're already out there and you're a high 6-figure earner and you're doing well in your business,
that's a lot.
That can create a tax problem.
Yeah.
So that's one thing that's important to know. The second thing I'm going to say is your expenses. Know what to bring. Know how to bring your expenses. If you just take all your receipts in a box to your tax preparer, 1, a lot of them might not accept it.
That is true.
2, if they accept it, you're going to get an extension because it's during tax season. They don't have time unless they have a full-fledged force of people working on other stuff besides taxes, then they're not going to be able to do it.
That's a good point.
Right. And it's going to cost more money.
There you go. There you go. That's the one though. If you don't remember nothing else, it's going to cost you more money.
Right. The third thing I'll say that's pivotal, it's not something that a lot of people think of in the beginning, but it's have a tax plan in place. Yes. Because you don't want to go to get your taxes done. Most of business owners wait till the last minute because we're going to pay money, right? So we don't want to pay money. But when you have a tax bill of $20,000 and you weren't expecting that, and you got 2 weeks to pay it,
right? That's a lot.
That's something different. Like, you should definitely be meeting the last quarter with your tax professional. Even if you don't have somebody doing bookkeeping monthly, meet with your tax professional, go over everything, see if you're going to need to do some tax planning, because you might need to do like a solo 401k to minimize a tax debt, or just different strategies. There's a whole bunch of different strategies. So
we're going to talk about that solo 401k definitely the next time that we meet, because that's some good stuff right there that people should know about. So you did bring up something really cool, and it's really super important, is bookkeeping. I love QuickBooks. Most of my clients know that I love QuickBooks, but I'm also the type of person that when I meet with my clients, I like for them to know all of their bookkeeping options, because there are other options other than QuickBooks, and QuickBooks is a little pricey. So depending on where you are in your business, you may have to work your way up to QuickBooks. So how does bookkeeping, no matter what software that you use, but how does bookkeeping really help you level up in your business?
It makes sure that you don't miss expenses. It makes you ready to go for lending. So when you're going for lending, they're going to ask you for things. They're going to ask you for a profit and loss. They're going to ask you for a cash statement. I mean, cash flow statement. Those are things that are automatically going to be generated and reported for you if you're using a bookkeeping system. It also makes sure that you don't lose any receipts. So you're getting everything that you put into your business back into your business. And also, if you spend properly, and most of us don't carry cash, right? We have our debit cards. So if you buy everything from your business with that business card, and you're going to connect that, you're going to make sure that you're not missing anything in your business. So and that systematically is going to help you know where you're at in your business, because if you're not doing QuickBooks, you're not viewing those reports. So you don't know where your money's going. And
you just swipe it.
Right. So you always want to review. That's one thing that's part of pivotal about bookkeeping. You sit down with your bookkeeper or your accountant, and you go over, you can see where the money's going. Because if you have 5 streams of revenue, it's important to know how much each one is doing and profiting, and you can do that when you have proper bookkeeping in place, versus waiting 2 years to find out, hey, I've been offering this service and it's making it, I'm losing money on it every month.
Wow.
Then you can cut that service.
No, that is true, because bookkeeping, like, I think most people, it's kind of underrated a little bit, or people get it once they feel like they got money for it. So definitely is super important. So one thing that you did hit on about the business checking account, which as a tax professional, talk about how important it is, number one, to have a personal checking account and a business checking account. Like, how does that work?
Right. So
and why you should not commingle funds.
Right. Commingling is a no-no. The IRS will definitely come get you for commingling. One thing that is really important, which people don't realize in their business, is their NAICS code. That code that distinguish your business is used for thresholds. So if you have a consulting company, but you're offering, massages, or you're offering construction, your expenses are going to be off, and you can have a whole audit happen because you claimed a lot of expenses, and that type of business, according to the IRS, doesn't have those expenses. Yep. So that's one thing that you really, really want to be cognizant of.
Because I don't even think most people probably know their NAICS codes anyway. So that's even super important for them to understand what those codes are. And it's really, you can actually go, I think it's, you can Google it, but it's NAISIC, I think. Yes. So you can actually Google it to find out your NAICS codes, which are super important, especially if you want to get into government contracting. But even from even your business and checking account side, like, all your money needs to be accounted for. So you need to make sure that you have the money from, even if you have multiple businesses, that you have checking accounts for those businesses, right?
Right. You don't want to be doing business and not accept like all the money that you make in your business, whether it's cash or a card. You want to make sure that you can account for that money showing up. Have your invoices going out, have that money come in so that you can show that money's coming in, so you can show the growth of the business, the prospering of the business. And really, because they'll look at that can be considered like embezzling.
Right.
That's how people get caught on embezzlement and stuff like that, because the numbers don't match up.
Yep. That is
everything is traceable.
Everything.
So
before we go, one thing that we had, about several months ago, we had a grant writing party.
Yes.
Which we need to have another one. It's about that time.
Yes.
So in a lot of the questions in all of the grants that we filled out, a lot of them asked you about your revenue, and especially with COVID. Now, a lot of the grants, whether they're from the federal government or they're private funded grants, they want to know what your revenue is, how did it look, what did you do in quarter one, quarter two, and so you can't answer any of them questions without having, number one, bookkeeping and proper taxes. So can you speak to like just another reason why like you need to make sure that you're filing your taxes and that you have a good tax preparer or CPA on your team?
Absolutely. You should be able to break down every quarter. It shouldn't take you like a million years to figure that out, especially when you're going and you're dealing with the IRS. They're going to send you a 30-day letter. They're going to send you a 90-day letter, and that is it. If you're not ready and you're not prepared, you're going to have to go to tax court. And then you're looking at lawyer fees and all kinds of other things. So
right. So really, is more effective for you to like have yourself together from day one,
right?
Because it's going to cost you more money in the end, and then you won't be able to apply for a lot of stuff if you are not filing your taxes. You cannot apply for grants.
Right. You really can't do anything.
I know, right?
Like if you need especially like business credit, you're going to want to build your business credit because you're going to want to get those contracts. You're going to want to take those big projects.
Right.
And you're going to be able to do that, especially when you go into government contracting and they take 30 to 60 days to pay, sometimes 90, 120 days to pay you. You're going to have to front all that to make it happen beforehand. And without bookkeeping and without taxes in proper place, you cannot do anything. You can't even go get a property.
Nope.
So,
so taxes. Well, thank you, Nicole Johns of TaxMax SA. So let everybody know where to find you for bookkeeping or tax services.
Yes, for bookkeeping or tax services, you can find me on all platforms at taxmaxsa.com. We are on LinkedIn. We are on Instagram. We are on Facebook, Twitter, all that.
All that. Well, thank you, friend.